Hi, I'm Tessa Plen. I hope that you're going to find the next few minutes useful. Are you feeling overwhelmed right now? I think a lot of us are. And I think besides the obvious external factors of COVID that are completely outside of our control, there's stuff that's inside of our control, within our control, that we have not yet learned to control because we are so unused to it. We're so unused to feeling emotion at work. So we've been used to kind of cutting ourselves off or leading a team, and we get them to cut themselves off, leave the real part of themselves behind, and come to work just with this rational head. So you just got a whole lot of heads walking around, walking around the office. And now people are at home. A lot of people are still at home, and they have to deal with the whole person, the whole family, the wife, the screaming kids, the whole shebang, and they've got to deal with their fear of uncertainty, not knowing the future, seeing everybody around them going, oh, we're pivoting this, pivoting that, and feeling, oh my word, I'm being completely left behind. We're being completely left behind. And we know intuitively that until we feel in a state of upness, it's very, very hard to pick up the phone, reach out and phone a client, reconnect with an old client. And so a lot of us, and I'm hearing this from sales leaders of huge organizations, the teams have gone dark on people. They're just afraid to reach out. Now, this was happening anyway, because in good times, people relied on incoming leads. And naturally, we all shy away from reaching out to people we don't know. We fear rejection. So fear, and this whole idea of fear, is what keeps us stuck and doesn't allow us to move through and really reach our potential. And what I found in my career, I was Associate Director of Innovation at Colgate-Palmolive, Business Development Manager for the Middle East in Paris. I've been in London. I've been in Sydney doing a lot of consulting work, in New York and back here. Change has been a constant in my life. And I've had to learn to manage change. And sometimes I'm better than others, let's face it. But it's really, really helped me to understand the change curve and to understand where I'm sitting at it, and not to kind of lambaste myself when I'm feeling fearful, but to understand that fear is actually a necessary part of moving through change. It's only bad when we get stuck in it, because when we get stuck in it, we become completely paralyzed. We're like a doe in headlights. We don't know how to move forward. Our teams don't know how to move forward, and they can sense that within us, that we're not feeling confident. And the same with our clients. We don't know where our clients are sitting at the moment necessarily on this change curve, where their emotions are, and people are making emotional decisions. More than ever, people are making emotional decisions. They fear making the wrong mistake, or the right mistake. They fear making mistakes, and so they're putting off decisions. And the key is really to understand where people are at in the change curve, to understand where you are at in the change curve in your team, and to understand what the interventions are at each of the stages to move yourself and your team and your clients through that and help them out the other side. Because otherwise we're going to get stuck in fear or get stuck down here in depression. And each of these stages has a different vibration on an emotional level. And when that vibration is right down here in depression, it's very, very hard to get people out of it. So what we want to do is kind of cut the curve off over here and get people out of fear and into an honest assessment of where they're at and where their clients are at, what the future should be, and then roadmap how to get there. But the first point of call is working with the team to actually work with the whole person, to really listen and understand where they're at. And even if it's venting their frustrations, getting that all out, and maybe using a professional to pull it all together in a objective way that makes people feel safe. Because when we hold our emotions down so long, and a lot of us have been doing it in organizations for years, it's like holding a balloon underwater and it's just going to pop up. So just by doing, even if it's just that part of the change management curve, by doing that kind of corporate listening and stakeholder interviewing and getting people aligned and pulling them through and letting them vent and get rid of all this stuff, instead of going, oh, it's all going great and we're all coping and we're all pivoting. And yes, you know, you must all look like you're coping, so you all look like clones. It's actually not going to help you in the long term. Really, we need to harness the collective intelligence, the collective emotion, so that people can vent, let that go, and so that they can move forward renewed and refreshed. I'm going to be doing a webinar in a few days where I'll go through the various points on the change curve and what the interventions can be on each stage to move your people through it, to give them a better sense of certainty, because it's not a linear curve. It's a curve. So, and people can move this way and that way. So, you know, we got through the first wave, now there's fears of a second wave, and people are going back. Or, you know, in the beginning, people were like, oh, this is great, we got some time at home, and they were positive. And then as it becomes Groundhog Day and people have got no certainty about the future, they go back into either depression or fear. And so it's learning to ride the wave and helping people through and teaching them how to ride the wave. That's really important. So please join me. I'll share that with you, and also share how to use that in a system and way to go out and get new business, so that the client actually asks you to help them because you've understood where they're at an emotional level. And people only make decisions through an emotional imbalance, through feeling, oops, this is going to personally impact me on an emotional level. We think it's rational, but it's not. It's actually a combination. And this is the part that we've forgotten. And in times like this, it's so crucial. Otherwise, we will lose our clients forever. So please join me. I hope it'll help you. It's free. Okay. Cheers. Bye.